it's James. I am starting a new sort of segment to this YouTube channel, and it's going to be called Can I Make It? The other day we were having a lovely little pre-made pudding. We were questioning how easy it would actually be to just make these pre-made foods that we eat from scratch. Today I'm starting off with, a thing that I absolutely love. The Gü Zillionaire Cheesecake. The light there, really, I'm having a nightmare with the light. Wow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna taste the cheesecake, sort of pull it apart a little bit and see what makes it, and then we're gonna try and make one ourselves. So let's get to it. Let's start off by looking at the Gü. Pretty much 4 distinct layers. You've got like a biscuit base, a caramel, a cheesecake, and a ganache on the top. Okay, so let's see what's inside. We've already got like, sort of like this bronze. I think they're meant to be gold. And then obviously there's like a chocolate ganache, which is quite firm, obviously because it's been in the fridge. Very nice. Just go all the way in, get the cross section that we've been looking for. Altogether, it is so sweet. You've got like this cheesecake, which on the box says that it's like Treacle Cheesecake. It's not massively like strong, so I don't think I'm gonna go massively on treacle. So you've got a caramel layer, but it's salted caramel, isn't it really? So, and the biscuit layer, it's really crumbly. It doesn't really stay together. Like you can pick it up and eat it as a biscuit. It seems quite straightforward. That's probably gonna be my biggest downfall, is the confidence that I've got in that. Right, caramel then. Woo!
Making salted caramel is actually very easy. In a heavy bottom pan goes 200 grams of caster sugar. Let it melt, give it a stir to help things along, and as you stir, it will start to clump together. Gradually the mixture will loosen and will all turn into a dark golden brown liquid. When you run your spoon around the bottom of the pan, it shouldn't really feel gritty. All the sugar should have dissolved. You can now add your 90 grams of butter. Like kicking a nest of snakes, it's going to cause a massive fuss and there'll be loads of hissing, but it'll all be good. Stir it and it will come together. I've gone into adding cream like a madman. Be gentle with it. Again, like a snake, you've got to be gentle with it. Take your time. Pour a slow stream of about 150 millilitres of double cream into your caramel. Give it a decent pinch of good quality salt flakes and mix them in. Leave it on a cold hob and let it cool slightly before transferring it to an old jar of mayonnaise. It doesn't have to be mayo, any jar will do. Keep it out for now, but you can keep this in the fridge for months. Use it on ice cream, in a brownie, on a spoon. It's liquid gold. On to the biscuit base. First of all, we're going to make up some of our old friend brown butter. We want this biscuit to have a nice, rich taste. So melt 100 grams of butter in a pan for a few minutes until it bubbles away any excess water and starts to brown in the bottom of the pan. Transfer it to a bowl or a French cider mug, as I've done here, and get it in the fridge to firm back up. Into your bowl goes your cooled butter and 100 grams of granulated sugar. Give them a good mix together. Add an egg and then give it all a good battering. Find the second smallest sieve that you have and sieve 100 grams of flour into the mixture. Then 75 grams of cocoa powder. That seems like a lot, but we want this dough to be dark, rich and chocolatey. Once they're in, give it a pinch of salt and stir everything together. When everything's come together as a dough, wrap it up in some cling film and get it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to firm up. Liberally flour your countertop and roll out your biscuit. It might not stay together how you would imagine, but remember, all we want to do is cook this biscuit so we can then crush it up, so it doesn't matter too much. Pop it in an oven at 190 degrees Celsius or gas mark 5 for about 12 to 15 minutes. It will have firmed up and almost look brittle. To be safe, you can be like me and, just do it to that point where the corners start to burn. Get it on a wire rack and let it cool down for about an hour or two. Pop some into a little sandwich bag and bash it with a rolling pin until you get fine crumbs. Add about 20 grams of melted butter and you'll have a buttery biscuit base Greg Wallace would be proud of. I don't know though, actually, maybe he wouldn't. He's a judge on MasterChef. Pop a little into your Gü ramekin. I'm using a pot of cake decorations to make sure that it's all securely in the bottom. You could use a spoon, but this fits perfectly, so why wouldn't you? Get it in the fridge and let it set. Time to get our treacle cheesecake on. Now, cheesecake can come in many forms, but for me, it's cream, icing sugar, mascarpone, cream cheese, and then in this case, treacle. First up, empty a 300ml pot of double cream into your bowl. Then to that, add about a tablespoon of icing sugar. Get your big boy whisk out and show it what you're made of. If you've got a KitchenAid, then use it. You smug piece of work. Some of us can't afford one, okay? In a separate bowl, we're going to absolutely smash measuring out 100 grams of mascarpone. You're the best, James. And then 100 grams of cream cheese. Give it all a good beating. Then add your tablespoon of treacle and mix it in. All of this can then be added to your cream. You've put lots of air into the cream, so don't bash it out. Fold your cheese mixture into the cream. Then we're going to use this NutriBullet container, but you could use a glass. Stand it up and put a piping bag inside. Fill the piping bag with the cream cheese mixture. It's going to make things so much easier when assembling later on. You can keep this on the side or in the fridge. Ganache time. Ganache is chocolate and cream. Wow, this recipe is heavy going, isn't it? You'll need a bain-marie, which is a double boiler, which is a bowl on top of a saucepan of boiling water. Into the bowl goes 100 grams of dark chocolate and 150 millilitres of cream. Let them get all silky together. Wow, they're silky, sure. You want them silkier? Add a little knob of butter just to give it that extra sheen. We're so far into this now that there's no point trying to cut corners, you know. Get the bloody butter in there. Add some sugar if you want. You know, if you got some lard hanging about, maybe put that in there. Bit of rum in there? Why not? And that's your ganache. Time to assemble. Try and get hold of your slippery little ramekin. Then we're going to go in with a little bit of the salted caramel. Roll it around the bowl to make sure that it covers the surface. Next up is the cheesecake. Cut off the end and run it around the edge of the ramekin. Use a small spoon to make sure that everything is tucked in neatly. Pop this back in the fridge and let it firm up for half an hour. The last layer now. Don't put your ganache on if it's really warm. Let it come to room temperature. If you put it on the cheesecake when it's warm, it's just going to all melt. Drizzle or spoon some onto the top and it should all level itself out. Finally, it's time for the piece de resistance. For the gold effect on the top, I'm using some crushed up golden cake toppers. This one was just some little gold stars from Sainsbury's, crushed up with the rolling pin. Sprinkle them onto the top of the ganache to give the same effect as the original pudding. There you have it. I've remade a Gü Zillionaire Cheesecake. What a waste of a Saturday afternoon.
So there we go. This is the next morning and yes, I'm wearing the same shirt. What we're going to do now is we're going to get Ruth. I'm going to present a spoonful of each goo to her and then we'll see which one she likes. Hi there, Ruth Peterson.
Hello.
So I'll now reveal the goos. We'll start with goo A. Okay, open wide. A little bit wider. Take that in.
Okay.
Just have a think about it. Do you want a little water just to sort of like cleanse the palate? So this is goo B.
Okay.
So goo A.
Yes, really subtle flavours.
Okay.
Quite like a coherent ratio. You know, it was all very, felt like one texture to the tongue.
Sure. So then goo B. What did you think of that?
Very strong flavours. That to me is something that you'd get served in a restaurant. It was a much bolder
Profile
flavour.
of flavours.
Yeah, the very distinct biscuit, like it was like there was a biscuit in there.
Okay. I'm sort of thinking it's pretty obvious, but which do you think was mine?
B.
Goo B.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do like an out of 10 for closeness. How close do you think I got?
7.
A 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You were so in the right area. Why do I have such a vivid thing in my head of it being gold leaf?
You see, I thought exactly the same thing, and these are like bronzy
Yeah.
coloured cutbacks.
Yeah.
Maybe they're cutting back.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else just before we go?
We've been Amused Bouche. Subscribe and like.
Okay.
Like and subscribe.
That's gone quite well, so can I make it?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I think we're going to keep going with this series. I quite like the idea of trying to remake things. Like, subscribe to Amused Bouche. Also, hit the little bell thing, because apparently it sends you notifications when we put out new videos, which hopefully will be coming more and more frequently.
Ding dong.
Join the Facebook, join the Instagram, join the Twitter, join it all.
Join the family.
Join the family of Amused Bouche. And see you next time.